Broadcasting house in the county of Nairobi, this is the great KBC in time for lunchtime news. Many thanks indeed for joining us. I have a detailed bulletin lined up for you. Of course, we are also live on our social media spaces, not forgetting our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. I'm Njue. My co-anchor on the sign language interpretation on the bottom of your screen is Karo Njoroge. Now straight to the news. Transport Principal Secretary Mohamed Dagar has urged Mombasa residents to back President William Ruto for a second term in the 2027 general election, citing government development projects and programs as evidence of its commitment to improving the lives of Kenyans. Speaking during a meeting with village elders from Mvita constituency in Mombasa County, Dagar highlighted government investments in infrastructure, healthcare and affordable housing, urging the locals to assess the administration on the basis of its development record. The PS also lauded President William Ruto for what he described as the fulfillment of key promises made during the 2022 election campaign. Sentiments echoed by United Democratic Alliance Secretary General Hassan Omar, who said the Ruto administration had taken steps to addressing long-standing development challenges in the coastal region.
Ukiangalia ile manifesto ambao Rais William Ruto alisema nichagulieni kwa sababu mimi nitatekeleza hizi kazi. Rais amefanya hajafanya? Rais amefanya hajafanya? Kwa hiyo kumlipa muungwana kama huyu ambao ameinua nyuso zetu sisi kama wapwani. Na sisi katika mkoa wa Pwani ni watu ambao tunaitwa ni watu wa uungwana kabisa. Tutampatia William Ruto bila ya kutufanyia lolote, kuhakikisha kama William Ruto amerudi na tumemwonyesha kuwa tuko na yeye na uongozi mzuri wake utaendelea kwa miaka mingine mitano.
Kumepita changamoto nyingi, propaganda nyingi, na sasa sisi tunataka kukabiliana na hizi propaganda na hizi changamoto za urongo za kina sijui Rigiji, sijui kina nani, mundu kwa mundu, head on.
From the coast back to the capital, where a section of residents of Karen Estate right here in the capital want the government to reconsider the construction of the Riruta-Ngong railway line and instead prioritize during the Karen-Ngong-Kiserian highway. Through the Karen-Langata District Association, residents question why the decision to construct a railway line was never subjected to public participation. They said the construction of the railway line is more expensive than dueling the Karen-Ngong road, which will have a higher economic impact.
As current residents, we're not against development. However, we'd like the development that is happening within our area and neighborhood to be constitutional, to be legal, to be adherent to the very constitution which is the backbone of our country. Why then are we focusing so much on one means of transport? And yet we could explore as many options as possible that would serve more people, that we could stand on itself at a longer scale of things, you know.
The community here in Karen and Langata and Ngong supports a project which meets their needs. We'll look at the documents. Kenya Railways have promised to give us a feasibility study. We are going to look at the documents. We are going to make our comments on the documents. But we cannot make a commitment before we have seen the documents that they have.
Moving on, the tarmacking of the Nanyuki-Doldol Road in Laikipia County has finally commenced with the upgrading of the 58-kilometer stretch. Kenya National Highway Authority has disclosed that the contractor undertaking the 5.5 billion shillings project is already on site. The public engagement exercise has started with a view to notify those who have encroached on the road reserve to vacate voluntarily. Once completed, the road will link Laikipia North Sub-County headquarters with Nanyuki and will open up one of the oldest administration centers in the region, which has for decades remained underdeveloped due to poor infrastructure.
Holders meeting regarding the construction of the Doldol-Nanyuki road. This is a road that we've waited for, I think, all our lives. And finally, it looks like the reality is coming closer home.
The project value is 5.5 billion, and we plan to upgrade the road to bitumen standards and make improvements for the existing bituminous surfacing that runs from the main starting junction within Nanyuki town, running towards Cedar Mall to Batuk and then to Naibor Turnoff. Part of the improvements are improving the road geometry by expanding the carriageway widths, adding the shoulders as well as pedestrian walkways.
From roads and infrastructure to health, where the Union of Clinical Officers Migori branch is urging the county government to move with speed to ensure, health workers gain access to comprehensive medical cover under the Social Health Authority (SHA). Speaking at the Migori County Referral Hospital, the union officials said its members who are currently on strike have been unable to access SHA services, including for their dependents. They cited salary delays as having contributed to their woes, as remittance to SHA, which is supposed to be done by the 9th of every month, has been affected. The County Executive Committee member for Health, Caleb Opondi, disclosed that following consultations, a technical committee has been formed to address the issue.
We are being deducted over 3,000 shillings every month, but we get the services that even in our referral hospital, we cannot get a test that goes beyond 1,000 because of the scheme that we are in.
You have to use your extra cash or rather your money to be given those services, yet you are the very person who is offering them. It's a really saddening situation.
We are pleading with the county government, kindly fast track the implementation of a comprehensive cover, not only for healthcare services, because as a healthcare worker, how are you going to offer services to a patient when you yourself or a dependent cannot get the same services using that SHA cover?
We shall be submitting this report to the head of the public service, which eventually we gave a timeline of its implementation, which we said would be within this financial year.
More than 2,500 youth in Mandera County have completed a 20-day training under the National Youth Opportunity Towards Advancement (NYOTA) program. The training is to prepare the beneficiaries for workplace and apprenticeship opportunities. The group will now proceed to a 5-month on-the-job experience phase, where they will gain practical skills and workplace exposure to strengthen their employability and entrepreneurial skills while supporting their transition to sustainable livelihoods.
We expect at the end of this session, the 5 months from now, tuta expect nyinyi ufaidike na hii program kisawasawa, upate ajira ya kutosha, ama wewe mwenyewe ujiajiri sababu umepata skill ya kufanya kazi.
I want to thank the President for this initiative. We are so grateful. We learned a lot of things, and we are sure that whatever we have learned, we are going to use it outside there to the community. We are going to make sure those business gaps and opportunities, we have filled them and occupied them fully.
The training was good. As the special beneficiary of this NYOTA program, thank you very much.
In other news, residents of Lukose village in Ikalomani constituency in Kakamega County have decried the worsening economic hardship following the closure of a company that was undertaking mining activities along the Yala River. Speaking to journalists, the residents claim they have been struggling to make ends meet, with many losing their sources of income after the company was shut down, affecting several businesses that depended on the mining activities, leaving many young people who depended on it for employment.
Watoto wetu walikuwa wanapata kutoka huko pesa, lakini vile walifunga wakikuja hapa, tunataka watusaidie vile watoto hao watakula.
Kutoka ifunge, kuna mashimo huko chini, tunaingia shima ndani na inaua vijana wengi sana huko. Alisa kampuni ikiwa hapa tunajisaidia na kidogo, kulingana na mahitaji yetu na watoto wetu tuko nao wadogo. Sasa serikali inapenda mfungue kampuni at least tujisaidie hapo.
Hii mradi ninatoka irudishwe, ikuwa ya kusaidia sisi, sababu tuko shida sana upanda ya chakula na hospitali wanakuletea. Sasa hawa ndio wanakushikilia, wanaleta chakula ya kusaidia sisi, hata watoto wanakubali hata tusomeshea.
Now to education matters, where learners in Saria Comprehensive School, Awendo constituency, Migori County, will now enjoy additional facilities to smile following the launch of new classrooms constructed through the National Government Constituency Development Fund, NGCDF. This comes amid calls to deploy more teachers to rural schools to address the persistent shortage of teaching staff.
Speaking during the launch of the classrooms, Awendo constituency Member of Parliament Walter Owino said that many rural schools have inadequate teaching staff, making it difficult for teachers to effectively meet the needs of growing learner populations. His concerns were echoed by Saria Comprehensive School head teacher Joshua Ochieng, who said teachers at the institution are struggling to cope with a high number of learners.
By building these 3 classrooms, the congestion in especially the junior school, has been reduced. Teachers are able to attend to individual learners because, as you understand, CBC is concerned with individual learner.
We have been marginalized, I will say that, in terms of deployment of enough teachers. So we expect that the government is going to help us by deploying enough number of teachers to help our learners.
Meanwhile, a joint initiative between a local church and the Constituency Development Fund has seen pupils at Kilulu Primary School in Lugari constituency, Kakamega County, who have been learning in dilapidated mud-walled classrooms, receive 9 new classrooms. Speaking during the launch, Lugari Member of Parliament Nabii Nabwera urged parents to work closely with education officials to improve learning standards in the constituency.
Wametupatia mradi wa choo na wanaenda kutujengea kukarabati ofisi ya administration upya. So this will be a new school. Hakuna Kenya kesho bila hawa watoto.
Njue Naomi reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now, police officers will switch to new uniforms from the 31st of this month this year. The Inspector General of Police, Douglas Kanja, says the new outfits will be unveiled by President William Ruto on Friday during the pass-out parade of 10,000 police recruits upon completion of their training at the Kenya Police Training College in Kiganjo. Kanja, who attended the final rehearsals for the new recruits, said the new team is a force multiplying in terms of numbers ahead of the 2027 general elections, as the service hasn't recruited in the last 4 years.
We will have a national, countrywide rollout of the same. In the next few coming weeks, we should be seeing the new uniform that was approved some times back. And I think this is also going to be a force multiplier in terms of, morale boosting of our officers, especially the new recruits joining us this time around. So the 10,000 that we are going to get in the next few weeks are going to actually ensure that our numbers are very okay. And remember, we are almost 1 year to the general election, so we have got ample time to ensure that these officers are well, prepared, they are well trained on matters, their roles when it comes to the general election security.
They say a new broom sweeps best. Let's wait and see. In other news, KC University students have been encouraged to focus on their responsibility studies and approach university life with academic discipline and responsibilities. Speaking to over 9,000 first-year students during the orientation week at the institution, the university's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Nathan Ongechi, challenged the students to work hard and maintain a healthy relationship with lecturers and fellow students.
We have no cane. We'll not tell you to uproot a stump.
We will not tell you this and that, but if you break the rules, we also have ways of ensuring that we are corrected. Don't go home for a year, for 2 years, or be expelled because you have done all these things. Number 3, and I've already mentioned it indirectly, that in as much as your freedom, take care of yourselves.
In other news, residents of Pumwani village in Magarini constituencies, Kilifi County, have rejected a proposal to establish a settlement scheme in the area, saying it would disadvantage families who have lived there for generations. The residents urged the national and county governments to subdivide the land through adjudication, claiming that the settlement scheme was a ploy to defraud them. During a meeting at Pumwani Trading Center on Tuesday, Kilifi County Chief Officer for Lands, Joe Thede, faced a rough time explaining that since the parcel in question was public land, the only way to divide it was through a settlement scheme. He later softened his stance, saying that the county and national governments would consider residents' demands, but emphasized that any action must remain within the confines of the law.
Zetu ni za jamii. Hivyo basi kama ni kupimwa, ni tupimiwe kulingana na mipaka yetu ya kijamii, lakini sio kwamba tuletewe settlement. Kwa hivyo ni muhimu tupimiwe vile tulivyo, mipaka yetu vile ilivyo, ambapo mwenzangu amesema ni jembe kwa jembe, na hiyo ndio kauli ya wana Pumwani.
Mbeleni maeneo ambayo yamepimwa kwa kuzingatia settlement scheme yakaleta utata. Tunataka ikiwezekana katika eneo hili tukaweze kuepukana na matatizo kama hayo. Kwa hivyo mambo ambayo huenda ikawa yanaweza kuleta utata katika upimaji huu, hata baada ya kuwa upimaji umemalizika, hata baada ya wananchi wenyeji kupata hati za miliki, basi kama kuna shida kama hizo ambazo zinaweza kutokea, tuziepuke mapema, na tunaweza kuziepuka kwa kuwasikiza vile ambavyo wananchi wamesema na kulinganisha na sheria vile ambavyo inaruhusu.
Very well, time to make sense of shillings and cents in business now. The Senate Committee on Agriculture, Livestock and Fisheries Development has vowed to push for increased allocations to the Agriculture Ministry to improve research and food security. During an engagement with ministry officials led by Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe in Malindi, Kilifi County, I beg your pardon, the minister called for the agriculture budget to be increased from the current 2% of the national budget to 10%, citing the sector's critical role in the economy. Additionally, committee chair and Bungoma Senator David Wakoli said agriculture functions should be fully devolved to counties with adequate funding to empower farmers and also improve productivity.
The National Treasury has allocated the agriculture sector more than 64 billion shillings in the fiscal year 2026-2027, an increase of more than 16.4 billion from the 2025-2026 allocation. Though the bulk of this funding will go into the recurrent expenditure, the government has allocated more resources in harvest management, with plans to construct storage facilities in various counties.
Tutapendekeza iwapo ataongezwa fedha kama ni wale wa kupambana na kwekwe na wadudu, ongezwe pesa kidogo. Wale wa sugar board, iwapo wanataka kuboresha tume ama taasisi ya uchunguzi, wapewe pesa kiasi. Wale ambao wanahusika na sekta nyingine, cha muhimu ni kusonga mbele hatua kwa hatua.
The government also plans to allocate more funding to the Agriculture Finance Corporation for onward lending to farmers. The Senate Committee on Agriculture has vowed to push for increased allocation to ensure more funding is pushed to improve research and food security. During an engagement with the committee in Kilifi County, Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe called for the agriculture budget to be increased from the current 2% of the national budget to 10%, citing the sector's critical role in the economy.
It goes without saying that if you want that to expand, if you want to get into value adding, if you want to get to expanded areas, if you want higher productivity per acre, then we must continue, to allocate higher funds for agriculture.
Committee Chairman David Wakoli said agriculture functions should be fully devolved to counties with adequate funding to empower farmers and improve production. Joy Naomi reporting for Lunchtime News.
Well, at about 20 minutes past the top of the hour, we've come to the end of the bulletin. That reason being, we also have an advertisers event that is currently happening in Mombasa that we will be crossing over to by the Kenya Bureau of Standards. But many thanks indeed for joining us for this. But for this news plus much more that I still had, kindly log on to www.kbc.co.ke or even visit our social media spaces for this and more. Many thanks. I'm Njue. My co-anchor in sign language interpretation has been Karo Njoroge. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.
Thank you very much. We can all have our seats. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kithure Kindiki, Honorable Lee Kenyanjui, the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Kabetse Bosile, President of the Africa Organization for Standardization, Honorable Dr. Chris Wamalwa, Chairman of the National Standards Council, Saijo Muhika, Secretary General, International Organization for Standardization, and Dr. Hamujin Sengemana, Secretary General, Africa Organization for Standardization, Madam Estangari, the Director General for the Kenya Bureau of Standards, distinguished heads of delegations, delegates, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen, I salute you all. Good afternoon. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. You have been welcomed to this week-long continental gathering that has brought together ministers, national standard bodies, regional economic communities, industry leaders, development partners, certified bodies, and technical experts under the theme, and I quote, Your Excellency, sir, Standards Enabling Intra-Africa Trade under the African Continental Free Trade Area, where this week, sir, we are seeing one certificate working for all. At this juncture, sir, to set the mood, I will call upon a choreographed music and dance by a dance group called Pride in Motion, Your Excellency, sir. that has a song that speaks and says on Mali inasonga bila boda. The song, Your Excellency, is in 3 languages, that is English, Swahili, and French. Enjoy yourself, Your Excellency.
Attention, please. The show starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. ARSO, one certificate working for you.
You know where you wanna be. Far west to the east, 130 is all you need. East 130 is all you need. No doubt in quality. Mali inasonga bila boda. Mali inasonga bila boda. Songa, 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 songa. Mali inasonga bila boda. Mali inasonga bila boda. Songa, 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 songa. Tunasonga vizi, ARSO wanafanya bidii kuhakikisha kwamba Mali inasonga, wa corona bonda, kuna kuporwa, kuna kugongwa, kila unaenda bidhaa ziko proper, kila unaenda bidhaa ziko proper. Mali inasonga bila boda, Mali inasonga bila boda. Songa, 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 songa. Mali inasonga bila boda, Mali inasonga bila boda.